Welcome to Coffee, Culture, and the Capital with Sophia and Greg.
I'm Greg.
And I'm Sophia, and we have some crazy bills to talk to you about today.
Oh, yes, it's crazy bill time here in Sacramento at the Capitol. Hearings are going. And so I want to bring up a couple bills, three, that are going to be in a hearing next week, Tuesday. So if you want to come to the Capitol, this is going to be a great time to come to oppose some really bad bills. So I'm going to go through them quick. The first bill is AB 315. AB 315. This bill is actually targeting pro-life pregnancy care centers. The pro-abortion industry here in California hates these places. They challenge them all the time and offer a pro-life alternative to abortion. But this particular bill is allowing people, anyone, to sue a pregnancy center for any material or advertising they do that would be considered misleading or false. Well, what is misleading or false information to anybody who's a pro-abortion? Well, I don't know. They exaggerate. This is a bill really to sue them into the ground. So come on out. The Judiciary Committee in the Assembly on the 21st at 9 a.m. we are holding a hearing, and it's for this bill. Also in that hearing is another bill. Now, for most of these bills we're bringing up, we do have call-in campaigns. If you can't make it to the Capitol, what you can do is look in the caption at the bottom of this video, and you will find a link where you can call your legislator about these bills. And so if you can't come to the Capitol, that's what you're going to do. All right, so we did AB 315. Now we're doing AB 957. AB 957. Oh man, this bill is pretty darn scary because what it would do is it's a bill regarding custody of your children, and it's telling family courts, judges, it's telling them that if there's a custody dispute and one parent wants to affirm a kid's gender identity that they picked with a pronoun, with sex, what do they call them? Sex hormones and puberty blockers. The affirming parent gets the custody, and the non-affirming parent could lose custody. So it's pushing on judges to take kids away from parents who do not want their young kids' transition to look like the opposite sex through either social transitioning, like just changing a name or a pronoun, or the medical transitioning. So this is super concerning. Please come out. Please call your legislator on this. This is a scary bill. And the last bill up is SB 58. SB 58 is part of Senator Scott Wiener's plan from San Francisco, a legislator out there who wants to end the war on drugs. He thinks that's going to make our society better if we just didn't fight drugs, right? So instead of going for the really, really hard stuff first, I mean, we've already legalized marijuana. Now we're going for hallucinogens, right? Last year he tried to pass a bill. One of the hallucinogens on his list was LSD. But that bill didn't get through. So now he's reintroduced the bill without LSD included, and now it just includes a whole long list of hallucinogens and mushrooms and things that have terrible side effects on people, and he's seeking to legalize that for recreational use. What do you think about this, Sophia?
Well, there's a lot of pretty crazy bills here in Sacramento. And I think a lot of people get upset about the bills that get passed and turned into law.
That's
and
right.
As you should be when the bills are attacking your parental rights, when they're attacking your children. But we can't be upset if we didn't put our words and our feelings into action. And so our legislators need to hear from us.
Absolutely.
We can't expect our legislators to represent us if we don't reach out to them and let them know how we want them to vote. So that's why it's so important to call your legislators, call the people on the committees that these hearings are in, and let them know to vote a specific way on these bills. And so that's why in the caption you'll see we have call-in campaigns linked. We'll be posting across our social media what committees these bills are in. We'll be posting the members of the committees, their phone numbers. So we're trying to provide as much as we can to call your legislators, call the committee members, let them know how to vote, but we have to do that.
That's right. Don't say, oh, nothing can be done. Oh, that's just California. That's exactly what we've been doing for 20 years, and that's why we're in such a mess. So, come on. If you're staying in California, you might as well do your best effort to have an influence on this building up here. At least you can do is make a phone call. Not too hard. Doesn't take very long. The next thing I want to talk to you is about two bills that we have been intimately involved with introducing. We have legislators introducing two bills that we want you to support. We don't have hearing dates yet, but I want to let you know about them. One is AB 1314, and that is about preventing the secret transitioning of kids at school from one sex to another. As you might know if you're paying attention, kids can transition their names and their pronouns at school, and the school is supposed to keep that secret from the parents. And there's actually a lawsuit up here in Chico of a parent who's all upset that their child was transitioned without their knowledge. And then actually there's a similar instance down in Southern California with a Christian teacher who was told that she would have to lie to parents about a kid's gender identity, say one name to the kid at school, and then when we're talking to the parents, she'd have to use a different name, right? And she says, I can't do that as a Christian. There's a legislator. His name is Assemblyman Bill Saley, a new member, and he's introduced this bill. It's AB 1314, and what it does, it simply requires that schools have to notify parents if their kid has changed their gender marker in their name at school and is now identifying as a different gender. It's keeping the parents in the loop as they should. Changing your gender is not like changing your shoes or a minor thing. I mean, it is a huge thing with long-term implications. Parents should be involved. Parents care about their kids more than anybody else. And you can't keep this from secrets. You can't keep this a secret from parents. So this bill has been introduced, so we're excited about it. No hearing date yet. So that's AB 1314. Also, there's another bill that we're supporting. It's AB 1503 by Josh Hoover, and that is actually a common sense bill. It simply says that pornography websites need to have age verification methods to prevent minors from accessing their material, right? I mean, currently all you got to do is claim that you're 18, and all of a sudden kids have access to all kinds of smut that really is destroying lives. And so those are two bills to be on the horizon for hearing dates, but they're great, and we will be supporting them.
Yeah, so as soon as we have hearing dates for these bills, we'll make sure to inform you all. And again, just as it's important to let your legislators know to vote no on a bill, it's equally important to let them know when we want them to support a bill and vote yes on a bill. And then we also need to thank these legislators that stand up and speak out on these issues, because so many haven't for such a long time, and now we're seeing legislators here in Sacramento. Last year we saw it, we're starting to see it this year, speak up on these issues. So not only do we need to call to complain, but we need to call and thank them and tell them to support.
Absolutely. Bills. I mean, they're going to be, some of these bills, they're going to be attacked. Mm-hmm. And, I used to work in the legislature. I heard legislators complain about, well, I'm introducing these bills and being attacked, and then no one comes by my side and supports me, right? You got to encourage legislators by coming out, supporting them in their districts, being public about it. So we hope to do that with these two bills. Now, to end, I just wanted to give you a little report about some of the bills we were fighting this last week. We'll provide some videos of these on this podcast. I want to start with the first one. That this was the first time that Sophia had ever testified against a bill. And so we had 4 bills up at the same exact time, and so I had to send her off to this hearing all by herself to stand before these senators who weren't particularly friendly. And so tell me what the bill was and what happened.
Yeah, so it was Bill SB 59 by Senator Nancy Skinner, and the bill, it's to put menstrual products in women's restrooms for free. Sounds great. But also, it's in all gender restrooms and male restrooms. So
male restrooms?
We at California Family Council, we see the underlying of, okay, why are these products going into male restrooms? Unless if you're now pushing this gender ideology, and now little boys are walking to the men's restroom, they're seeing tampons, they're seeing pads, and it opens up all these doors of confusion.
Yeah.
So it's not just this, well, we'll just put them in there. No, there's an agenda behind what they're doing. And so I went to testify to let them know how insulting it is to a woman that they're doing this, to let them know they're ignoring the biological truth of a woman, and to let them know this is so anti-woman. They're erasing what a woman is. A man will never have a period. He'll never have a menstrual cycle. He'll never understand what it's like to go through that. And here this woman is introducing this bill. Women in the Senate are defending the bill. And so why don't we check out a little clip of how the testimony went.
Any lead witnesses against this? There is. Well, come on forward.
Committee members, my name is Sophia Laurie and I'm with the California Family Council. SB 59 seems to be a positive bill at first glance. How can anyone be against providing menstrual products in a woman's restroom? Yet, this bill also requires state-owned buildings to provide menstrual products in male restrooms, pushing the lie that men can have a menstrual cycle. This is insulting to women. This bill disregards the inherent dignity of women by attempting to obscure obvious biological distinctions between male and females. Males do not have a menstrual cycle. Let me repeat that. Males do not and cannot have a menstrual cycle. Monthly, women endure emotional and physical symptoms from menstruating, such as anxiety, depressed moods, crying spells, mood swings, irritability, appetite changes, and food cravings, joint or muscle pain, headaches, fatigue, weight gain related to fluid retention, abdominal bloating, breast tenderness, and acne flare-ups. To pretend that a man experiences this is truly absurd. To vote yes on SB 59 is to ignore basic biology. To vote yes on SB 59 would be antithetical to women's rights. SB 59 works to erase the biological truth of what a woman is. To be truly pro-woman, it is paramount that we recognize these biological differences between the sexes and act accordingly. There is no need for menstrual products in male restrooms. Males cannot have a menstrual cycle. If you have a menstrual cycle, you are a woman. Consequently, only women's restrooms need menstrual products. I urge you to stand up for women and vote no on SB 59. Thank you.
Thank you.
Another bill we testified, well, we didn't testify, but we went to. Another bill that sadly went through is AB 229. This is a bill by Assemblyman Joe Patterson. He's actually a new assembly member up here in Rockland by Sacramento. This bill is simply going to make domestic violence and sex trafficking a violent felony. Currently, it's not considered a violent felony. So these particular, if you get convicted of these charges of trafficking or domestic violence, you can get out really early because it's not considered violent, right? But really, domestic violence isn't considered violent. How does that work? Well, watch this video and you'll see some of the comments.
And why in the world would offenses like rape and other sexual assault of an unconscious victim, or rape and other sexual assault of a victim who is too drugged or intoxicated to give valid consent, why in the world are those not considered violent? It defies logic to me.
And I think for somebody that's going to drag a woman out by her hair, beat her with a belt, and punch her in the face, I do think that that is a violent crime and should be charged as such.
I don't think this is needed. I don't appreciate bringing these kinds of bills forward. I won't be supporting this bill today.
What you're kind of proposing is a back to the future kind of thing, where we did 3 strikes. That's how we got to overcrowding in the prisons. That's how we filled it with black and brown folk. And what you're proposing is a back to the future kind of thing. Like, if we just lock people up for a very long period of time, then they won't commit.
AB 229 by Assemblymember Joe Patterson. The motion is due pass to the Appropriations Committee. Joan Sawyer.
No.
Joan Sawyer, no. Alanis.
Aye.
Alanis, aye. Bonta. Bonta, no. Bryan?
No.
Bryan, no. Lackey? Lackey, aye. Ortega? Ortega, no. Santiago? Santiago, no. Zabur? Zabur, no.
So very sad to see that bill not get through, but there's another bill in the Senate, SB 14. Senator Shannon Grove is introduced to make sex trafficking a serious felony, which increases the penalties a little bit. So we'll see what happens with that one. We'll pull all our efforts behind that. The last bill that was up this last week, no, that was it. No, there was a bill, AB 223, and this was a bill that was going to, if a parent is changing one of their children's birth certificates to change their sex on their birth certificate from male to female or something else, which is false. Like, it's the government already allows you to put false information on a birth certificate. But now this particular bill is going to require the judges seal that so no one could ever find out. And so that's just craziness, right? It's really cultural suicide, where parents are changing the gender of their children, right? And so how is anybody going to know when you're dealing with people what sex they are if they can hide it from you, right? And how are families supposed to form when in the future nobody's going to know what sex anybody is? I mean, it's just crazy. But California's doing it up here, and sadly we had 2 Republicans vote for that. So, but we're still going to fight that among the other craziness going on. And I don't know what else is going on.
Yeah, I think we have a list of like 50 bills we're watching and supporting and opposing. So there is so much going on, and I know it's so hard for people to constantly stay in the know of what's going on, but sign up for our newsletter if you haven't yet.
That's right.
Stay on top of our website, follow our social medias, and this whole legislative session, we're going to be constantly updating you on if bills are getting passed through their committees, if bills are being killed, any amendments made, and who to call, when to call, what to say. We're here to provide that to you, so just continue tuning in, and that way you can stay updated.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys later.